other direction. Don't worry, I get it. I meant what I said when I said it, lady. I never wanna look at a house in the garden.
What's up, my fellow creators? Welcome, guys. I hope you're having a beautifully, phenomenally blessed day. Thank you for joining me for a moment with Topics with Becky. I just want to let you guys know it is a true honor being here. My prayer is that these messages find your heart, that you're able to take it with what it is and turn it into your own and help yourself make the best decisions for your highest good and your highest purpose. And I want to thank you guys for spending your time with me. I truly appreciate it. Please like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel so you always know when the next video does go live. And with that being said, today we are going down the rabbit hole with journaling. Did she just say journaling? I don't write. I don't like to write. I don't like to do none of that stuff. It's all right. I get it. See, for me, I'm a writer and it's easy for me. And I know that it's not easy for everybody. But I feel like this is such a powerful topic. Journaling is a way for us to begin to organize the myriad of thoughts that we have within our mind. The things that are constantly going crazy and doing this and making us go crazy and being stuck in our heads, and we're not able to listen to the things that other people are saying, and we're not able to listen to what's going on around us, and in fact the things that are keeping us from being present in this now moment. When I was younger, I always wanted to journal. I just never thought I was good enough to journal, and so I never kept with it. It was like I would miss a day and then that would turn into a week, and I'd be like, well, now what's the point? I have one date on here and I'm gonna have a date for months later. Like, that just looks ridiculous, right? Like, I would say all these crazy things to myself. And it's not about journaling every day. It's about taking time. This is a form of self-love, because you're allowing yourself time. Even if you set a timer for 15 minutes and you just write what you can in that 15 minutes, don't stop. It doesn't matter if it makes sense. None of that matters. Like, everybody wants it to be perfect. They want it to be like a story. They want it to be interesting. And it's like, it is a story. It is interesting and it is perfect because it's you doing it. When I finally sat down and I determined that I was going to start journaling every day, it actually started, I had purchased this book and it's called Writing from the Soul. Or Writing to Heal the Soul. That was the name of the book. I still have it and I love it. And I actually grab it every once in a while and write journal entries based on it. It was a book that talked about situations that this woman had experienced, and at the end of every chapter there was a writing exercise, and I just determined that I was going to go ahead and do these writing exercises. And my grandma had bought me this beautiful purple journal, and the book just happened to be purple, and when I started writing, it happened to be with a purple pen. I did not do this on purpose, guys. It just kind of happened, and one day I realized it, and I was like, oh, look at all these synchronicities. And purple is with the crown chakra. So a lot of times what we're not realizing, why I'm bringing this up here, is that when we are writing, we're actually getting messages from the divine, because it's an easy way for us to distract ourselves from what's going on in our thoughts and to be so present in this moment. And it's in that moment of presence that the divine is able to speak to us and through us. So journaling is something that will help you organize your life. It's something that can potentially help you understand why you think the things you do about yourself. It can help you understand why you don't love yourself as much as you need to, or why you're idolizing somebody else. I think sometimes we don't realize that we put somebody on a pedestal until we start writing things down, and we're like, wow, like, I don't know why I have them put up on a pedestal, and they're really just on the same journey that I am, but their journey is different. For a long time, it was what my journaling is what helped me realize the things that I was doing with my ex, the things I was putting up with. I was able to write down the things that I was going through, and it kind of put me in a place where I had to actually acknowledge that rather than just brushing it off. When something bad would happen, I would go sit down and I would write about it. And it was just kind of like an eye-opening experience for me, because it really put me in a place of understanding that this is what I'm fighting, and I'm fighting the belief that I'm not actually going through this, because he would convince me that I wasn't. And so then I started to think that I was crazy. And when I was writing it down, I actually was able to see it in plain sight. I really had experienced all these things. I really was experiencing them. So let me go back to this book. So I started writing in this book, and I had a hard time writing every day because my journal entries would turn out to be pages long, and I didn't realize how much I had to say about the things that I had been through. I didn't realize how much I had in me to talk about. And I started healing things that I didn't know needed to be healed. And one of the things that came out was such a random situation, but when I was 5 years old, my mom and my grandma, we were at Sam's, and my grandpa, my brother, and my dad, they all went to the back to go look at some other stuff in the back, and I was with my grandma and my mom, and I was stopped to look at something in the aisle, and when I turned around, they were gone, and I went all over the whole store looking for them, and I couldn't find them. And I realized I had an issue of abandonment with this situation, and I didn't know it was something that I needed to heal. But it came out when I was writing about it based on this entry of this writing exercise at the end of the chapter in this book that I had. So it was something that I was able to actually stop and think about. It was something that I was actually able to look at from a different point of view. And it was like, journaling allows you to come into like a bird's eye view and see things from outside of the box, because it's like whatever you write on those pages is personal to you and it matters. And that's not always how people look at it. That's not always how people see it. They want to be in a place of like, oh no, my stuff doesn't matter, but I need people to feel sorry for me. I need people to see things this way. I need people to see things this way. But until you stop and you take the time to actually journal what it is that you have in your mind, then all of a sudden you'll see, wow, I really experienced that. I really need to deal with that, or I really need to overcome that. And like I said, it doesn't have to be super long. Like, I think people are like, well, you're right, so of course you're going to have long journal entries, and I can't do that. Okay, well, if you need to set a timer and you only have 5 minutes, you know what? You'd be surprised at what you could get out in 5 minutes, even in 3 or 4 lines. Like, you could get your feelings out on a piece of paper and you could really just start looking at it like, wow. And then I think people are like, well, I don't have the money to go and buy a journal. I don't have the money to do this. I don't have the money to do that. I'm like, cool. Don't. Because guess what? I buy these. They're 50 cents. And I buy a stack of them every time I go to the store, so I have backups, and I write in them, right? I write in them. This is my dream journal. This is my journal. Right? And it's not full yet. Like, I'm working on it, but they get full, and then when you get full, you just start another one. Right? And it's like, I have pretty journals. I have really beautiful journals that my grandma bought me, and I still haven't written in them yet. And I feel like sometimes it's just because, honestly, I'm just going to say it, because those are the last journals that my grandma bought me when she was alive. And I feel at times that if I fill up those pages, somehow I'm really just saying goodbye. And it's such an interesting thing to think about while I'm doing this video, but it's the truth. It's like, I really feel like I'm saying goodbye, and shoot, you don't even have to be that fancy. You can go and get a binder, right? I have binders full of journal notes. Like, they're just full of notes, full of all kinds of stuff, right? Like, you don't have to be fancy. It's just simple. This is what we did in school. Shoot, when you went to school, did you buy fancy notebooks? I know some people did. I know some people got this, they got that, they got this and the other. But at the end of the day, it's like, when you filled them up, did you ever look at them again? No. But sometimes you go back and you read the stories that you write in your journal, and you're like, wow, like, I've really come a long way from that. I've really come a long way from experiencing what I was experiencing. I used to take everything so personal. I used to think that everybody had it out for me. I used to think that everybody really hated me and that they just wanted me to be miserable. And I'm sure there are plenty of people that I ran into that were like that. I can't say that there wasn't. But at the end of the day, the people that I really thought were like that to me, they weren't. It was just because they were dealing with their own stuff. And I started realizing that I had abandonment issues. I had people-pleasing issues. I had issues in giving everybody what they wanted and never saying yes to myself. And I had issues of a neurotic need for approval. I needed to be approved by people around me. And these are things that have all come out while I've journaled. It's an amazing experience, and it's a journey. Journaling is a journey. You know, and all you got to do is start with today, with what you have. If you got a pen and a piece of paper, boom, you can already start journaling. And like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. There's nothing about it that's perfect. Some of my most beautiful journals that I have scratched out lines and I'm like, oh shit, I don't know what I was trying to write there. Let me scratch that out. And I think that's why people are like, well, I don't want it to look all messy. You know what? Life is messy. Own it. Nothing about life is perfect. So everything that we do, we should never be striving for perfection. We should just be showing up. That is what makes somebody so good at something. Right? And now I journal regularly. Like I have so many of those little notebooks full now. Like I couldn't have even dreamed about it 5 years ago. And now to fill up a notebook, it's like no thing. It's just like, okay, cool. Like just another one's gone. It's full and it's gone. And it's something else I've learned, something I've experienced in the time of that journal. And each journal is like its own experience. It's its own experience. And you get to see, like, if when I go back and I read some of my very first entries, it's like, wow, I don't remember this person anymore. And it's neat to just watch the growth. And you get to watch the growth as you journal. Even if your journal entries are less than a paragraph, it doesn't matter. You'll still see growth. There are times when I write like 2 or 3 lines and I'm like, I don't know what I was trying to say that day, but cool. At least I got some words on the page, you know? Like, I don't know what to write. Just write whatever's coming to your mind. Well, my mind goes blank when I'm trying to write. Then just start writing gobbledygook. Okay? Like, seriously, because you'd be surprised. It'll open you up to begin to flow so that you can start letting go of these issues. You know, write about your past. Write about the things you've experienced. Write about the feelings that you have about things that you've never talked about. Write about what you've always wanted to say to somebody, but you never had a chance to say it, good and bad. And don't be sitting there like looking over your shoulder like, oh, I want to write that this person's a MF or bitch, blah, blah, blah. But you're over there looking over your shoulder and they're not even around you. And you're over there worrying that that person's hearing or wondering, knowing what you said. No, you need to get it out. It's a release. It's a release. Okay? So this is what I have for you guys today. I really hope this helps. Just try it. You know, make a challenge for yourself, journaling for 30 days and see what happens. See if you get there, you know, see what you experience in the 30 days, what happens with your life. And it doesn't, 5 to 15 minutes. That's what I would say. You don't have to journal for an hour. You can, but you don't have to. If you have more time one day, then journal for that time. You know, if you don't, then set a 5-minute timer and at least get something down and the date so that you have it, so that you remember. Okay? I love you guys. Thank you so very much for joining me. Please like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel down below, set that notification bell so you always know when the next video does go live. And with that being said, until next time, go forth boldly, my fellow creators, and courageously find creative ways to rise above in life, laughter, and love. Until we meet each other again. Mwah. Peace out. I love y'all. Bye.